I'm glad you're gonna cut it out because
Right? We said some really horrible things during that.
Gonna stop. Welcome. Welcome back, everybody, to another edition of Soul of a Gamer.
Yes, that thing that we
do. This is a shitty podcast where we do shitty things and we shit.
And sometimes we're shitty people.
So shitty, shit. And that's it.
And our hair is both shit colored.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening again.
Yep.
To another.
It was fun.
Yep. So he's trying to press buttons, but he's failing at it. He finally got it. All right.
I got slaughtered.
All right. So we hope you enjoyed last week's game of
Dark Sector, right?
Was it Dark Sector?
Well,
yeah, I think it was.
I think it was Dark Sector.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Just feels like so long ago. I don't know why.
2 for 2. I don't know.
And then that one was not that fun, but I loved the weapon.
Yes.
Such a cool idea for a weapon in a game.
Interesting concepts, but not the greatest.
And I think this game follows suit with that, honestly, on some levels of
a little bit
what I was complaining about with last week's game. And this week's game is
Limbo.
I was waiting for
I don't know why I was
Limbo.
Struggling there. I couldn't speak for a second.
So this week's game is Limbo. And again, we are Soul of a Gamer. Every week we come at you with the game we play and we tell you about it.
Yes.
So
we tell you what we like, what we don't like, and just ram a bunch of random knowledge in your face that you probably don't want.
So do you know the makers of this game? I didn't look it up before.
I didn't either.
Is it Play Dead?
It might be Play Dead. Okay. I think it's Play Dead.
Yeah, that sounds right. It's the only thing that's on. Yeah, it's got to be. We're gonna guess it's Play Dead. So let's get right into this and start with
what's on the box.
So this game doesn't really have a box.
No. I think it was just a digital release game.
I'm pretty sure.
It did come in a lot of dual packs with Inside, which there's a lot of people that say those games are connected. Inside? I haven't played Inside yet.
What's Inside?
It's another
puzzle game.
Okay. A lot more black and white kind of stuff, running from things. I don't know exactly what it's about, but that one seemed more horror-esque than this one.
All right. Yeah, so no real box. We have a fan box that he found, but we'll just read the fan box, which is pretty cool looking actually. It's a sweet looking box. I will give it that.
It's really good, honestly.
If they were to release a real box for this game, this would be the box I want.
I don't know how to switch that.
What?
Can I switch that? Aha! Now you can see it.
Now you can see a box if you're watching the YouTube. Oh, go ahead. Read us. Limbo is a masterpiece.
Okay.
Start there.
Limbo is a masterpiece.
It's really not.
It's okay.
Why they put that in there.
Limbo is a black and white puzzle platforming adventure that puts players in the role of a young boy traveling through a hostile world in an attempt to discover the fate of his sister. Limbo challenges players with traversing dark forests, trap-filled underground complexes, and stormy rooftops brought to life with hand-drawn visuals. They must be quick, clever, and fearless if they want to survive their journey and unravel the mysteries at Limbo's sinister heart.
That's not accurate.
I feel like that's pretty accurate.
No, not from what I played. I don't remember being on a rooftop.
Yeah, by the hotel. Part? The hotel parts.
Well, when you're on the glass thing? That was a rooftop?
Yeah, with the hotel with the lights and stuff.
Guess.
Yeah,
I guess.
Those lights aren't inside the building.
I would guess that they're just shit lights.
Those giant neon lights.
Yeah, I don't know. That wasn't... saying it's a masterpiece to me is like saying, Limbo is like anything that Beethoven wrote. No, it's fucking not. No, not even close.
Let me just say this. The best games in the world, I'm pretty sure they don't actually say that. And if they have anything that says something like that, it's in quotations with a critic underneath it.
Yeah, in this one it's not. So whoever made this really liked Limbo.
I'm pretty sure none of the Zelda games have, this is a masterpiece. This is the best game ever. I'm going to brag about my own ass.
False box. All right. Well, that was pretty much the box. Everything else is just 12 it up. Oh, look at this limbo.com or .org.
Which I got to say, this fan art, though.
It's really good.
It's incredible.
It is. It's
whoever
really good.
made this matting SM, perfect.
Matting SM, you and your shit fucking box art and your lies on your box art.
Dude, I'd buy this box art, honestly.
Yeah, but I wouldn't buy the game.
We're not there yet.
I'd buy the box, but not the game. All right, let's move on to...
Are We Jammin?
I want to be honest, I don't know.
Yeah, there's
Like,
not much.
Well, like I was playing the game and I don't really remember any like normally I stop for a second. I'm like, oh, that's a cool fucking piece of sound in there. And in this game, I didn't do that. I don't remember any good sounds in there.
No, there. I mean, there's sound effects for certain things, but they're like bear traps closing and like
no
something
real
stomping
music
on the ground,
like some
and,
ominous, I think, music
electric
over the
wiring
back.
kind of music and gears and slamming and stuff, and water. But besides that, there's not really much for sounds. It's just, which is kind of part of the game, because if you are in a limbo, it's kind of bleak and there's nothing. So I mean, in that aspect, I kind of give it a little credit.
But you need some music in there. They needed to put a little bit more in. I feel like if you don't notice it, I guess it's fine. But when you don't notice it at all, like I don't even remember there being music in there. So
yeah,
like they needed some kind of ominous, over the top thing happening, and they can make parts that are silent, but you could still reference back to the music. That's like the music in games is super important because it sets a mood for the game. Like your visuals will set a mood, but so will the music.
It definitely can. Like there's some games that you hear that one song in that one area and you're like, yes.
Yeah. Like when you go from Pokemon, when you go into Lavender Town, there's a big difference between everything you're doing during that game to know that this town is now a creepy town, because you have no idea when you just walk in unless the music starts. So it's just
just get that eerie feeling as soon as you get there just because of the music. Yeah, this one's more of a visual eerie than a audio eerie.
Yeah.
But there's nothing to complain about. Like, there's nothing bad about any of the sounds other than it's not memorable.
I just felt like it was lacking, so that's the only thing. If they would have put a little bit more in there, it would have set the mood a little bit more, but
I agree
it was fine the way it was, I guess. You could really tell that it was creepy with the black and white in there, but yeah. All right, well, that was pretty much no music, pretty much, so moving on.
Oh, and no dialogue at all either.
No dialogue, no voice actors or anything. It's just
this game just starts and it ends. There's no dialogue, there's no script, there's nothing.
No.
There's no memorable music, no memorable anything. So the first two categories were kind of in a wham on this one, but let's go.
How does it play?
It's another simple jump mechanic. I will say, this game is so fucking shitty in one of the aspects it did. It doesn't give you any controls at the beginning.
Yes.
So I had no idea there was like a control
2-button control scheme.
Well, so there's not that. I didn't understand that there was actually like an action button until I went in, because I got to a part where I'm like, what the fuck do I do here? There's nothing to do. You don't jump on anything, because up to this point you don't have any action button stuff to do.
True.
And I had to stop playing, look at the controls. I'm like, oh, there's a fucking action button. Like, I get it. There's simple controls. Anyone can look them up. I understand. Put a fucking control scheme in there at the beginning. Say movement. Press this to move.
Even Dark Souls has the little things at the bottom, like little scripts on the ground that you can click at the tutorial section of the game that says, press this to backstab. Press this to pull out weapon.
Which makes sense. Like, I know it can seem a little tedious. Like, well, I know the arrows fucking move me. Like, I get it. I can seem shitty, but you need those controls in there for the weird things like, oh, there's an action button in the game that you're not going to use until halfway through the fucking game.
At the beginning of the game, your character just, like, wakes up. So, literally, they could have just put on the screen, move, like...
Yeah, just
left
literally
thumbstick, movement.
4 seconds.
A button, jump.
Yeah.
This... action.
Yeah.
X action. And
it
then
was just so annoying.
You could have literally had that on the screen for 2 seconds and it would have been just fine.
Yeah. And the other thing I hated is the directional. So one of the things they did was if you held the jump button, you just kept jumping.
Oh.
Really fucking annoying when you're on the keyboard, because if you're jumping from left to right and you are holding the 2 buttons and you jump onto a rope, you just automatically jump up.
Oh,
yeah,
weird.
It's really stupid. They should have made that, like, I don't know, no other game does that. No game makes it where you hold the jump button, you just keep fucking jumping. Normally you just stop.
I've played a couple games that have that.
Very few.
It's
very few. I don't know why the fuck they did it with this game, but it was very annoying.
Yeah, that seems kind of weird.
Yeah, and I'm sure on the controller it's one thing because you're not usually holding A continuously, but on a keyboard when you're used to like holding multiple buttons at the same time, you're probably holding the up arrow on the side button as you're jumping still, going through your jump. But instead of just stopping when you get on the rope, you jump the fuck off.
Yeah, I never held any of the buttons.
90% of my deaths were just because I'm holding the up button, and I'm like, okay, this is really fucking obnoxious. Yeah.
Yeah, we can see that.
Yeah, it was just so stupid. And it's such an easy thing to avoid. Just, okay, take it off.
Just don't hold the button.
Well, don't hold the button. But also, not a lot of games do that. I am telling you. There are
I
very
know.
few that do that. So, and it can't be that.
I will give you that.
It can't be that hard of a mechanic to take that out. Because, like I said, not a lot of games do that.
True.
There's no point to it.
True.
Yeah.
And there's no point to ever doing that in the game.
Yeah. Yeah, like, you don't need to hold the jump button to do anything in the game. No. So, literally, it was just a worthless thing that they decided they were too lazy to fix.
Fair enough.
I don't know if they had play testers or not for this game, and I don't know how no one else complained
honestly,
about
this
it.
is probably just a really small indie company that
Probably,
did this.
and I don't think they released it for computer originally. I think it was for
just
Xbox,
console,
Xbox Arcade or something. So people probably didn't notice it, but you got to play test on everything. That's the point. Like, you have to have that port. Yeah. And this game can't be too hard to port. I don't know. I don't know about porting too much, but this game is not long. It's not. There's nothing really crazy about this game. Most mechanics are simple. It's just movement, jump, and action button. And the action button you don't use till halfway through the fucking game. And
yeah, and we do say the one thing we both talked about hating in a lot of games is you have to die to learn how to do things.
So I read his fucking interview. And fuck this guy.
Oh, really?
Fuck this guy. The interview, because I'm like, what was the point in this game? Because after I beat it, I had no idea what the story was.
No, I know. I did the same thing.
Yeah, so I look it up, and after you read the story, there's a little interview he gives. He's like, I wanted to make a game where you had to die to succeed. And I'm like, fuck you fucking jackass, you fucking piece of shit. I don't like those games. Like, to make you feel like a failure throughout the entire game just to succeed unless you're a genius at doing something the first fucking time.
And honestly, like, completing this game, there's nothing that you necessarily do that makes it worth all the death. Like, the one time I had some euphoria for doing anything in this game was finding those random stupid hidden eggs.
Yeah, I found 2 of them. I didn't even try.
I found 3 of them, I think.
Yeah,
but
there's probably like 10 or
there
something.
Is 10.
Yeah, that was my guess. I was like, there's probably 10 of these fucking things that I'm not going to give a shit about.
And there's an achievement for getting all 10 of the eggs.
Yeah, do not give a fuck.
And there's also an achievement for playing the game in one sitting with only dying 5 times or less.
Okay, yeah, that's going to happen.
It's probably a pretty easy game to memorize.
Yeah, you can do that later on, but are you going to want to play this game again?
Probably not.
Yeah, there you go. That was a stupid achievement to put in there, guys.
I thought about it. This is an easy game to achievement hunt. So I thought about it just to get another 100% game.
But it's just so not worth it. It's just so boring.
It really is.
This is the problem with these games, and we'll get into more with story, but it's what we talked about with Dark Sector. If you're going to have too much gameplay, you have to have something that tantalizes the people with really good gameplay.
Yes.
If you're going to have too much story, you have to have the story be amazing.
Yes.
And you can't, the best way to do it is to split the two and have one be really good and one be kind of poor. Yeah. And that way you're still interested in playing. Like, the gameplay was okay in this game, but it wasn't amazing, and there was no fucking story. Mm-hmm. So it just felt like they should have put more story in this game. Like, keep me tantalized, keep me interested in playing and getting through the game.
Like, a good example of that for me is a game we've both played on our channels before, Doki Doki Literature Club.
Yeah.
That is a great story with not
poor gameplay.
There's not much of the gameplay.
Yeah.
But that story is so engaging that you want to finish it.
Yeah, you're completely enthralled by the story to the point where you can't put it down. And that's the point. And that game was like an indie fucking release by some dude, I think.
And then you had Dark Sector last week that had great kind of gameplay mechanic kind of stuff, but piss poor story.
Oh, and even the gameplay mechanic was too much.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna have gameplay, you have to have it fucking phenomenal.
Yes.
If you're gonna focus on that, it has to be perfect.
Yes.
Otherwise, it's just gonna get boring eventually. And Dark Sector was like that for me. It's just halfway through, I'm like, God, am I still playing this fucking game?
No, I know.
Damn it, I want to get done already. And this game is the same thing. I'm like, all right, just another fucking puzzle, I guess.
At least this one's short.
No direction where to go or why I'm doing this or what's going on.
Do you wonder if they think they know the answer to whether this is worth or not?
Yeah, right. All right, moving on.
Story.
It's story time. So let's get started.
The story in this game is interesting. When you get past it, there's no way you can how do people know it's the sister? That's my question.
They don't. It's a total theory.
Okay, because
there's 10 to 15 theories out on the web about this game.
Because I was like, how the fuck is when I looked it up, they're like, you're looking for your sister. I'm like, how the fuck do you know that's your sister? What, do the eyes look the same?
Most people just assume that. There's some clues, and I'm going to give my favorite 2 theories later. But
the one I looked up was like, so the gameplay is weird. I hated the ending. This is something that I don't understand why they did this to start out. At the end of the game, and this game is literally just puzzles going through with no fucking story. At the end, you have to do all these fucking little like anti-gravity things. I guess that's the best way I can explain it. I don't even know if that's right though. It's like a movement thing where
it's kind of gravity shifting. It's gravity shifting.
Yeah, gravity shifting because you move one direction, you have to hit a button to move a different direction, hit a button to move a different direction. And at the end, you break through this fucking glass, and you're on the ground. And I thought I died because you're down there for a full minute and a fucking half without anything happening around you. And I'm like, okay, what did I do? And I almost restarted the game because I'm like, am I fucking frozen or something? What is going on? And it's a full minute and a half of you just laying there, nothing happening, and finally you stand up. I'm like, this was fucking stupid. Do 10 seconds of laying there, 20 seconds of laying there, not a minute and a fucking half.
Yeah, no, it was a long time. Like, I was sitting there at the end too, just sitting there like
did I
was pressing buttons. I kept on mashing buttons. I kept moving my thumbstick around. I'm like, do I have to do something?
And how did a playtester get through that and not say, yeah, that's too fucking long, pull it back? Or did they have it originally?
Did they, and the director said, I want that.
Yeah, or was the director like, what, 8 minutes is too long? All right, a minute and a half then. Like what the fuck happened?
Calm down, Freddie Mercury.
It was insane. I don't understand the point in that whole minute and a half of you just laying there. Nothing's happening around you.
Nothing at all.
This is where story's important. Like,
nothing.
have leaves falling, have someone running past you. Just do something else there. I get it. It's probably a cheap game. It's only 4.5 hours long or whatever. Yeah. Like, I get it. But you put something in there that makes a minute and a half worth it. God, it was so obnoxious.
Yeah, to say that, like I said earlier, the story starts out, you're lying on the ground, you get up, you're in a black and white world, your eyes are glowing white, your whole body's black, there's some lights around, you just kind of walk around aimlessly, just trying to find your way, you don't know what you're doing, what you're looking for, anything at all.
At some point, I think early on, you see the girl, and she runs away, or maybe you phase out of that, I don't remember quite.
Yeah, you see the treehouse, or you see a treehouse, you see something happen, and like the floor gives out, and then it looks like there's someone hanging.
Yeah.
And then you keep going, and then that's when you encounter the spider.
Yeah.
And then you have to get past the spider, and then you encounter the Lost Boys kind of tribe that try to attack and kill you. And then you encounter that mosquito thing.
There's a lot. So the thing about this game is, and I'm pretty sure this is what they were going for, whether it's in the theories or not. You're in limbo.
Yes.
You're in a place.
Well, I mean, it's even called.
Yeah,
limbo.
You're in a place between life and death, between heaven and hell or whatever. And their idea is like all these lost souls are there. I'm pretty sure. Like you just recently died, and your sister probably recently died. And what my guess was is maybe it was like a war of some kind, because you notice all these people are around you, like running around, setting traps. And it looks like they're organized. It looks like they're kind of like an army. There's atrocities like people hanging and like people just dead on the ground. I'm like, okay, so maybe like your family got caught in the middle of a battle and you just died. And now you're here and you're like reliving moments of like before your death or something. Because that would make sense why buildings are destroyed all around you. You're in a forest. Like all of it seems like in real life there was maybe a war going on.
So there's a bunch of different theories, and I'll share mine here in a little bit. But like one of the other things too is a lot of people say that when you're in limbo, it's kind of a weird place, and your fears come out after you.
I guess.
And like, there's some people that believe that if your fears get to you, they can drag you to hell, or you can like become corrupted.
Yeah,
and
but
you can kind of like in Murdered Soul Suspect when they were in limbo. She said the witch girl told you that all these souls that are wandering around trying to figure out why they haven't moved on yet. If they stay there for too long, they become the demons.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of those.
By the way, I just watched Ghost again. Ghost, the movie with Patrick Swayze and Demi Moore. And I was like, holy shit, they just stole that entire concept for that game from fucking Ghost. Like, Jesus Christ, they did. They totally did. Because the people who on then this is... like the people who are on the Earth too long become crazy and insane. So I was like, okay, yep, this is fucking Ghost.
I just want to stand behind you right now.
No, that was just
while we doing pottery.
And that's what it felt like because it was a pseudo love story. Yeah, it's so stupid.
I hung before.
All right, that's enough. Nobody wants to hear that. All right. Anyway, but but Limbo, like, it's weird because there's a bunch of theories about what Limbo is. Of course, nobody fucking knows that Limbo even exists. So saying like, oh, there's a theory for this, there's a theory for that, like, it doesn't matter, like, because like those theories are based on people's beliefs, and everyone has a different belief of what Limbo is.
Yeah.
So if the theory exists, like, why are they even making theories about it? Just ask the game creator what the fucking meaning of the game is at that point.
Well, if he's even saying like it's up for interpretation or whatever,
then he's an asshole.
Try to find it.
Then he's an asshole.
Well, you already established that you think he's an asshole.
He's a fucking jackass. Like, that's all it is. Like, well, you see, when I wrote this, I wrote it so you could figure it out. Like, fuck you, asshole. Just give us a fucking story. Stop trying to get people to come up with their own fucking theory on what the game's about. Nobody gives a fuck.
I'll tell you the most popular theory.
All right, let's hear it.
Okay, I'm gonna do it with some music though, because it's more fun. So, this is the crash theory.
Okay.
So, the Nameless Boy's family was just made a traumatic move from their old home in the countryside to a house in the city.
Oh wait, so they're just copying now fucking the movie, the anime movie.
The anime movie?
Yeah, the one with the dragon and the girl and the pigs. Their parents become pigs.
Oh, Spirited Away.
Yeah, They're just copying Spirited Away and calling it a theory.
Well, no, because that's a whole different.
No, they moved from the city into the country.
I know
They reversed it.
But her parents weren't. No one was killed.
Oh, no, they were. Remember?
Well, I guess, yeah.
So, and it's funny because
been a while since
it's
I've
weird
seen it.
because then she gets sent off to a mystical world with a lot of weird, scary thing.
That has a beautiful story too.
Yeah, it sounds like they just copied that and said,
Probably.
this is a theory.
Okay, well, the rest of this theory, besides the first fucking sentence, is better.
Let's see.
The boy isn't happy in the city and is frequently bullied by the other students at his
Good,
school.
he deserves to be.
He and his sister convinced their parents to take a day trip to the woods where they used to live. On one of the forest roads, the family's car crashes, killing both the boy and his sister. Their parents are knocked unconscious. While their bodies remain unburied, the boy and girl enter Limbo. The girl plays by their old treehouse while the boy tries to find her. Encountering Limbo's twisted version of his own fears, spiders, drowning, mind control, death, being stabbed, and his bullies, the boy eventually reaches his sister as their bodies are buried underneath their favorite treehouse, and they play under the treehouse together and move on to the afterlife.
Why would they be buried underneath a treehouse? That's illegal. What the fuck are they
We
talking
don't know what
about?
time zone this is.
Yeah, true. I guess we don't know.
You were even saying it could be an old war thing. It could be in the 20s.
I just said war. I just said war.
I guess that's true.
Yeah, I don't know. That theory is stupid. That doesn't make any
like
fucking...
it.
That makes zero fucking sense.
Well, and the reason
Why did they go into a car crash?
So the car crash came in because of you going through the glass at the end of the game. Because it seemed
They are
like
really
glass,
putting things
and then
together.
you're lying on the ground for a while. It's him
Was he not
realizing
wearing,
he
so his
actually
parents
did
were
die.
shitty and didn't make him wear a seatbelt? Is that what you're saying?
Well, the first car crash theory is that his mom wanted to put the seatbelt on and couldn't.
They're making up a lot of shit for this.
And while trying to get him to put on a seatbelt, crashed the car.
No. Yeah, they are really...
It's a huge stretch. It's a huge stretch.
They were driving a car. Where'd you get that from? Well, there's glass. So hold on. So let me finish. They were driving a car and the mom was turned around. All right, so why was she turned around? Listen, they were trying to put the seatbelt on. This is pretty normal. It just gets... They are really reading into... they are making up a whole backstory.
I didn't say these weren't stretches. I'm just saying... that it works with the game, that makes it a little more interesting than what we got for the game.
Yes, I don't know. I don't.
Let me have this. It's the only way I can enjoy the game. Okay.
Go on to your next favorite theory.
Oh, what was the one? Sorry.
There's too many fucking theories. Why do they make so many theories for this fucking game?
So the treehouse theory.
Listen, we had a treehouse, and then we didn't, and I was sad, so I had an episode, and now I killed my sister, and I killed myself, and that's why we're in limbo.
There is a murder theory that after he
stupid.
dies, he's trying to go back to kill his sister,
Okay.
and
So they can be
the
together
things that
forever?
are the things that are attacking him are his subconscious not wanting him to actually murder
No,
his
I think
sister.
what it is, I think what happened is, okay, so he's in his room, right? He's in his room because there's glass in rooms sometimes. And you know how there's glass in a room? Then there's toys. And he has a toy spider that is attacking him because it's now Toy Story. Okay, so now we're in Toy Story world.
Okay.
But then Buzz Lightyear comes in. And where are they getting their theories? They're pulling too much outside. The problem with theories is you have to pull from a lot of in-game stuff for the background part of your theory. And because there's so little content in the actual story, like you can't pull in the background.
Well, that's
so
why they're going with the puzzles.
I know.
As
they're just
the
pulling,
reasoning for these
they're
things.
pulling too much. They're really
It's
trying to
it's
connect.
the only things they have.
I know. Again, this is why you should just ask the guy and be like, "Listen, what the fuck is the story to? What's the point?" And he's gonna be like, "You're just in fucking limbo with Polo. Can I make a fucking game without having a fucking point?" Like,
No.
I really hope that's what he did.
All right, treehouse theory. The boy and sister fall out of a treehouse as it collapsed.
What? Why did it collapse?
In the game, there was that.
Who built a shoddy treehouse?
Maybe them.
Oh, that makes sense.
The boy wakes up in limbo after dying and searches for his sister. The spider represents fear. The tribal characters represent loneliness. The rain represents depression. The cogs represent structure and progress, remembering the treehouse. Gravity represents falling down from the treehouse. And at the end, he finds his sister.
Gravity represents falling, guys. Don't be fucking dunces. Listen, I read an interview where the guy was like, actually, the spider represents porn, and he had an addiction to porn, so I don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about. Like, really, again, it's just a stretch. Like, I get it. Like, it makes sense, but at least they're pulling from inside the actual game for this one without, like, assuming glass means a crash car or something. But...
I mean, crashing through glass, I mean, there's
sure.
not a lot of things that could mean.
Oh, sure, but that's at the end of the game or whatever. But I mean, like, the treehouse makes a little bit more sense.
Yes.
Of course, the treehouse falls, but what the fuck? Like, that is a shoddy fucking treehouse.
Well, one of the things for the treehouse theory that I saw in a video was that when it did show the girl hanging, that it looked like it was like a rope ladder.
Yeah.
And it looked like one of the rungs of the rope ladder broke, and then she got caught in the rope, and then it snapped her neck.
Okay.
So that's where some of that's coming through, where they think that...
How high do you think treehouses are off the ground, Steven?
It depends on the treehouse.
I'm going to guess like...
10 feet, 12 feet?
Yeah,
But I mean, for
6 to 10 feet is my guess.
that's enough
It's
to hang a little child.
Well, I mean, like, it wouldn't be enough to break her neck.
Okay, okay, maybe not break her neck.
Yeah, but let me choke her.
Choke
Yeah,
her,
but can't
strangle
break.
her.
There's
Okay.
no way.
I shouldn't have said break her neck.
'Cause,
I was
like-
thinking of like fucking...
Yeah, like Spider-Man, because she falls a long fucking
yeah.
way, right? So, like, yeah, it takes that much fucking tension.
It's funny, I didn't even think of the Spider-Man one first. The first thought I had was fucking the guy from Tarzan. The bad guy in Tarzan.
Oh, yeah.
Kerchak.
Yeah.
Clayton.
Yeah.
Kerchak's the gorilla. Duh.
I'm Kerchak. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But yeah, I remember the guy dying.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that fall, sure. Like you fall far enough, your neck's gonna break.
Yeah.
But it's gotta be fucking like
Okay.
a boom,
Well, it showed a girl hanging, and it looked like maybe a rope ladder. So people were... And there's a lot of treehouse symbolism in this. So
Well, look, to me, when I was going past the people hanging, they looked like dolls, honestly. They didn't look like real
Yeah,
people.
well, there was some of those that
Yeah.
definitely were. But there was one...
This is why I thought it was like a war thing, because with people hanging like that, like, soldiers can be really shitty in, like, really shitty times.
Yeah.
And you just fucking, like, do shit that you'd never do in real life. So...
I don't know.
Like, so it's weird that there's a whole tribe of people too, especially for a kid like that.
It was like three boys. It looked like three.
No, there were a bunch, like, because there's a bunch of dead bodies too.
Oh, there was a bunch of dead bodies.
So
too.
like, and I thought all those dead bodies maybe represented like this huge thing.
Maybe.
Like it was like the game. When you look at the game itself, it does really just look like a war zone, because even again the buildings are all destroyed, and there's
Yeah.
gasoline, and there's electronic stuff that's broken.
and the electronic stuff is like old, like warehouse stuff. So like that's where I thought it was like some big factory town.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, and it could be like destroyed or something.
Yeah.
Like, and then the rain. Honestly, the rain. I didn't think it was water at first because I'm like, why the fuck don't I just swim in it? And so it would make more sense that it was maybe like gasoline or something. Like, and you couldn't
Maybe
because the minute you get into it, you don't even try to swim. You just go to the bottom and die.
That's true.
Like, so I was like, man, what the fuck is this?
Well, that's where like a lot of people are like, his fear of drowning is why he doesn't like the water in the
Interesting.
Limbo.
That's a weird thing for a kid to have. They don't really fear drowning like that.
I fear drowning.
Yeah, you get that when you're older. When you have an incident or you see it on TV or something, but most people, like, they understand that they can't swim, so it would make more sense if you feared drowning if he couldn't swim and he was, like, flailing all over the place as he died.
Anytime I didn't plug my nose underwater when I was a kid, I thought I was drowning.
Yeah.
Like, I would freak the fuck out.
Yeah, but would you move around and stuff, too?
If I didn't get underwater,
Yeah, so that's why I think that's a poor theory, just because if you fear drowning so much, why the fuck isn't he moving around in the water?
Poor game mechanics.
Yeah, it could just be poor game mechanics, too, but I don't know. To me, like, you're fucking moving flailing. It looked more like, it looked less like water because in oil or something, you're just fucking burning.
True.
So I don't know.
I feel
it
like
could be anything.
Screaming if you were burning.
Yeah, true. Well,
moving around.
If you're underwater,
well, then you're not burning.
Well, if like you're beneath the surface, you're not.
I mean, if you're.
But yeah, you should be moving.
Be flailing either way.
I think the theory is a little off
or,
with the drowning part. Like with anything he's drowning in. I think there was something else going on with that part that the author can only answer.
Maybe he was never taught how to swim and he just feared the water because of it.
But again, like I feel like you'd flail or something. You're not going to be like, well, can't swim. I guess this is it. I accept my swimming fate.
All the deaths in this were just that. They're just dead.
Yeah, well, the spider deaths were my favorite because it was I gotcha.
Just give up. Fuck you.
I can't tell you how many times I died that first part.
Oh, God.
Like, I couldn't figure out what to do, and then I was like, shit, you got to push it into the fucking water. And the spider just crawled up to you slowly. I'm like, maybe I have to run up to him as he lets the body go, grab the body inside, run up to him and die. And
the part I got stuck on at the beginning was the stupid part where the spider's just like sitting by the tree or whatever.
Yeah, with the bear trap. Yeah, I figured.
I didn't ever think walk back. When do you walk fucking backwards?
The only reason I did, if you have your headphones on, you can hear the bear trap land.
Yeah, and I didn't have the volume loud enough, so I was so fucking confused. I kept on like dying on purpose or doing different things or
see, and that's what I kept doing. I'm like, why the fuck am I supposed to do it? And finally, I listened. Like as the spider like does its first little grab, the bear trap falls. I'm like, what the fuck was that? So I went backwards. I'm like, oh shit, I forgot about the bear trap.
Yeah. They hit the ground 2 or 3 times or whatever.
No, just once.
For me, it was 3 times.
Did I get the bear trap? Maybe it was. I don't remember. I don't think I
avoided it. First one it moved.
Times.
Second one it got to the edge of the branch, and then third time it actually fell.
Yeah. Interesting. I don't remember. I didn't because when I went over there, it was already down. So.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. That was pretty much story. It's a shit game. The end of the game, I guess we can talk about. You just like break through this glass. You're on the ground for like we said, like a minute and a half, and then you walk over to the side, and your sister or girlfriend or
some
wife
little
girl or
sitting in front of a tree house.
Maybe
like
you're a pedophile
doing
and
something
you're
with the
picturing
ground.
yourself as a little boy, and you're like, Molly, you're mine now, bitch.
I don't want to know where you're pulling your in-game
I'm guessing
from.
that's my theory. You're a pedophile and you were trying to get this little girl and you killed her and you killed yourself and now she's yours.
I don't like this.
Yeah, so you see her just like playing or something or doing something. Then she runs away, doesn't she?
No, they both like
she stands up.
She like gets up. People say she senses your presence and she like gets up.
Okay, people, you fucking jack. She senses your presence.
Well, a lot of people say that you can tell when you're being watched.
Okay, well, you know what's funny is there's a bunch of leaves on the ground too. Maybe she hears the clank, clank, crackle, 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 crackle. Maybe she heard the giant.
When do leaves make clank, clank noises?
Maybe she heard the giant explosion when you break through the fucking glass. How about that? How about that for a fucking theory?
That was 2 minutes ago.
Oh, okay. 2 minutes and 20 feet ago. It's fucking ridiculous. She senses your presence.
Yeah. And then it fades with them not there.
She feels that's a disturbance in the force, and then she's like, "Oh shit!"
Moved on to the afterlife.
Yeah, that's probably what happened. Like they probably moved on at that point. But I don't know. This game's puzzles were kind of lame. We didn't get to talk about the puzzles too much, but they were like some of them were kind of hard, but a lot of them were.
Some were super easy. Some were super just basic. Didn't take long to figure out. Other ones were just like, who the fuck thinks this?
Yeah, well, like the magnet ones were probably the hardest ones, just because they're just Once you get the first one figured out, though, you're like, okay, every single one's going to be fucking like this now.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't have any trouble after the one where you have to get the box to move to the side by momentum and gravity
the
mechanics.
Flappy Bird mechanic.
Yeah. So, yeah, you Flappy Bird bullshit. After that, I'm like, okay, so they're probably going to do this again. And then they did it again, kind of, where you have to release the one that goes up to the ceiling and get it to the ceiling before the other one gets there. Yeah, I was like, okay, this
catch it with the magnet.
Yeah, and it's like, this is simple. I see what's going on in this one now. Like, as soon as you get one of them figured out, you can figure out the rest.
Yeah, which that's basically the entirety of all these puzzles. Do it, die, do it, die, do it, die. Figure something out.
The most annoying mechanic in a fucking game. Like, there were no cool puzzles, really. Like, all of them were kind of lame. And
some of them had really, really tight windows of timing. Yeah, some were... You had all the time in the world.
Yeah.
It didn't get harder necessarily. It was just like randomly hard at different points in the game.
Yeah. And some of them, like the last one was easy with the moving through and doing this and that and this and that. Yeah. So
the last one was easy. I was a little confused at the very last one because I didn't think to crash into that wall. Yeah. But
see, and that's the first thing I thought. I was like, okay, so are you just supposed to like get past this? Because if you go too far up, it's like a grinder up there.
Yeah. There's a giant saw up. There's a giant saw to the right, and this direction thing says it's gonna push me to the right.
Yeah.
Where the fuck do I go?
Yeah. So that's the first thing I thought. Just seeing that, I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll just do this then.
Yeah,
I don't even think I died on that last part. It was just too simple.
I died like 6 or 7 times probably.
Yeah, it's just at a certain point you're like, okay, I get what they're doing here. I get what they're doing here. The minecart one was a little annoying to me, just because I didn't understand. Like that was the only one I had to look up because I'm like, you have to push off the fucking thing. Just that one was the most fucking annoying.
That one was
and I'm like, what is it about fucking minecarts that are so fucking annoying? And Donkey Kong is bullshit. This bullshit fucking minecart.
My first thought was Scott is gonna complain about the minecart.
Yeah, because the minecart's fucking dumb. But like in the next game we play, the next minecart game, I'm gonna have PTSD because of it. I'm gonna be like, fucking minecart everywhere we go.
All right, let's go to the last category.
Right, here we go.
Worth, or nah?
You know, I want to say nah, but I'm not going to because the game was actually really pretty. Like, it was a cool game. The puzzles weren't so bad. Just the story was lacking. So it's a Worf game to me. Just, I really wish they would have put more story in. That's my only fucking thing.
As far as indie games go, this game is beautiful. Like, it is very cool. It's very interesting. It's very well thought out as far as artistically.
Yeah.
It's just the gameplay and the story that are severely lacking. So if you are someone who likes those things, get this game.
Yeah.
It's like $10 with Inside, I think.
Oh, with Inside. Okay. I was going to say fucking a lot.
I think it might be $10 by itself, but I think it's also on Game Pass.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, it's nothing.
Yeah, and I mean, you'd like it probably. The puzzles are simple enough. I think anyone would have fun playing it. It's just I wish there was more story.
Yes.
And also, I wish people would shut the fuck up about their theories. The theories are fucking lame. Get out of here with your fucking theories, people. You make a theory, go fuck yourself. My pedophile theory is way better than any theory you came up with.
All right.
All right, well, that's it.
Yes.
All right, so next week's game is...
Conker's Bad Fur Day.
I'm so excited.
I've never played it.
I've never played it either, but I've seen the videos of the poop singing.
Yep. That's exactly why I wanted to play it.
I'm so excited to play it. So, all right, guys. Well, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching or whatever. And
yeah,
we will see you later.